Hello everyone, welcome to Be Green Monkey. Sugar is everywhere and is pretty much in everything we love to indulge in. Outside of obvious sources like fruits, sweets, or drinks, it is also in pizza, pasta, bread, milk, beer, and loads of other foods that we don't typically consider as containing sugar. So today, let's talk about it, specifically asking what is it that we mean when we say sugar, understanding various components of it, defining sugar addiction, and understanding how we can go about consuming it in a healthy way. So we have a lot to cover. Let's get started. Sugar is a form of carbohydrate which, along with starch, is our body's main source of energy. Our brain, body, and nervous system rely on it and its derivatives. Breaking it down, when we say table sugar, we usually mean sucrose, which is made from refining sugarcane or sugar beets. Sucrose is a blend of 50-50 fructose and glucose. What we mean by that is that it contains 50% fructose and 50% glucose. It is combined as a disaccharide molecule that you can see on the screen. High fructose corn syrup, which is the most commonly added sugar in North America, is typically 55% fructose, 41% glucose, and rest are made up of other saccharides. Unlike sucrose, these components are free-flowing and not bonded together. These various kinds of sugars are practically identical and should be treated as same. One thing we are not discussing today is lactose, which is a milk sugar, and that will be covered in a future video. Subscribe so you can get a notification when we do post it. For fruits, this fructose-glucose ratio really depends on which sort of fruit it is. For example, fructose content is higher in mangoes, whereas bananas are more glucose dominant. I will leave a link below if you're interested in checking out this fructose-glucose mix-up of other fruits. But for simplicity of understanding our consumption limits, let's just go ahead and consider all sugars as a 50-50 split between glucose and fructose. So what is this glucose and fructose, and why does this matter? Glucose, which is the sugar in the blood, is the main source of energy for the body. All other carbohydrate sources are converted to glucose during digestion of food. Our body converts glucose to glycogen, which is used over a course of a day to provide you energy. Glucose is the sugar that you will consume if you're looking for a quick boost of energy, and is usually a key component in energy drinks and sports recovery drinks. Fructose, on the other hand, is not as simple. It goes through a separate process in the liver where it converts to glucose and lactate. As per our current research, fructose is disproportionately responsible for associations seen between sugar intake and chronic inflammation, abnormal blood lipid values, and decreased insulin sensitivity. Higher consumption of fructose is associated with an increase in visceral fats in your body, and thus results in an increased concentration of fats around your belly or abdominal area. As an FYI, other bodily fats that people are usually concerned about is subcutaneous fats, which are the ones which are right under your skin. Getting back to our original topic, have you heard about fatty liver disease, which is caused by overconsumption of alcohol? This is a condition in which excess fats are stored in or around your liver, causing its inflammation and scarring. As it turns out, fructose can cause the exact same thing in a condition known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. If you're interested, down below there's a link to a really good YouTube video explaining it in detail. As scary as this all may sound, keep in mind that these negatives are highly dependent on how we consume these sugars, what sources we indulge in, and how much of it do we consume. In this video, we are not asking you to completely remove sugar from your diet. Not only is that impractical, but can actually be detrimental to your health. Some sugar-rich sources actually come with a lot of added benefits. For example, fruits like mangoes, blueberries, and pomegranates contain phytochemicals which can actually help your body regulate blood sugar better by slowing down the absorption of carbohydrates in the intestines. As an added bonus, fruit fiber in itself will help you reduce the speed of sugar absorption in your body, and this fiber will also help you with satiety, thus helping you feel full faster. The best takeaway you can have from this video is to consume sugars from natural, unrefined, or unprocessed sources. For example, a whole fruit is much better than a smoothie, which in itself is much better than dried fruits or juices. Try your best not to consume any sugary beverages like Coke or Pepsi. sugar is very addictive. In 2007, a study was conducted on rats in which 8 times a day they were given a choice of either having sugared water or having cocaine infused water. Rats would actually almost always pick the sweetened water. Studies like this are alarming, and rightly so. According to American Psychiatric Association, to be classified as addictive, 3 of the following 7 criteria need to be met. 1. Development of tolerance or diminished effect with continued use. 2nd, withdrawal symptoms when the substance is not consumed for a period of time. 3rd, binging on the substance or showing lack of self-control or discipline. Number 4, desire to cut down on the substance but being unsuccessful. Number 5, going out of the way to satisfy cravings for the substance. Number 6, choosing use of this substance over social, occupational, or recreational activities. And finally, continued use of this substance despite understanding various physical or psychological problems associated with it. Consider pausing the screen now to really think about these points related to your sugar consumption. Over or under consumption of sugar does increase or decrease your tolerance to the sugar. Downregulation of dopamine in your brain as a result of systemic overconsumption of sugar is actually identical to that of a cocaine addict. Some people who typically overindulge in sugar can have withdrawal symptoms when they're not able to consume the sugar or not able to get this sugar high. Experience mood swings, lightheadedness, headaches, anxiety, cold sweats, and even physical tremors. I'm sure there's someone you know, whether in family or as a friend, who is suffering from this. Binging on sugar is extremely common. You probably understand that excess sugar consumption is not healthy. But in past, if you have tried to reduce your sugar consumption, did it revert back to its original level after a while? Have you ever found yourself going out of your way to find a vending machine or a convenience store so you can get a cookie, candy, or a soda even though you were not feeling hungry? All these criteria, to a varying degree, do affect most of us. I would recommend that you check out That Sugar Film, which is a documentary which explores this addiction in further detail. To figure out if you are addicted, try cutting out all sugars or sugar substitutes for 2 to 3 days. I'm recommending cutting out sugar substitutes as well, so we can confirm that psychologically these are not tricking your brain into thinking that you consumed sugar. This trial would mean that you will have to carefully read your food labels, skip fruits, and concentrate on eating a whole food, whole grain based diet containing a lot of vegetables for next 2 to 3 days. These foods will still contain some sugar, but the quantity will be limited enough for you to be able to determine if you have sugar addiction. Keep in mind that this trial should be stopped as soon as you observe any severe symptoms in yourself, and you should definitely not try it out if you are suffering from diabetes. Consumption of sugar is associated with heart disease, type 2 diabetes, abnormal cholesterol, excess body fat around your waist, increased risk of stroke, and a lot more. This all sounds alarming, but it is important to understand that fructose conversion in such a fashion is a normal process for the body. Converting sugars is one of the primary things that your liver does, and just having some sugars, specifically fructose, is not going to cause any significant harm to your liver or to your health. Sugars are linked to all these negative consequences when overconsumed, and that is the key word here: overconsumption. Sugar is addictive, and it is very easy to overindulge in it. Even though it is present everywhere, the key takeaway is that we do not need to be afraid of it, but nor should we be completely unconcerned about it. What we instead need to do is really understand it, which will help us determine a balanced intake which works well with our caloric goals. As a takeaway, try to limit your consumption of sugar, sweetened beverages or foods, and aiming to satisfy your sugar cravings through fiber-rich, healthy whole foods like fruits and certain vegetables. Just still remember not to overconsume. I won't provide grams of sugar that you should aim for because it is completely dependent on your daily physical activity, goals, and your age. But in general, aim to have a few cups of fruits per day, have a few different varieties, and you can't go wrong. Thank you for watching this video. Please share and tag your sugar-dependent friends so they can understand this better and learn about how sugar affects them. Also, please comment down below if you have any questions or if there are any future topics that you would like us to cover. In terms of how to cut down on sugar, we will cover this in a greater depth in a future video on how to reduce your sugar dependency and addiction. But for now, you might want to consider watching our last week's video, which was on sugar substitutes. This video is linked here as well. To continue getting this weekly content on time and support this science-based endeavor, please consider subscribing on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Have a good day everyone, and we will see you in a future video.